Cynicism masquerades as wisdom, but it is the furthest thing from it. Because cynics don't learn anything. Because cynicism is a self-imposed blindness, a rejection of the world because we are afraid it will hurt us or disappoint us. Cynics always say no, but saying yes begins things. Saying yes is how things grow. Facts matter not at all. Perception is everything. It's certainty. If you don't give power to the words that people throw at you to hurt you, they don't hurt you anymore. And you actually have power over those people. I don't accept the status quo. I do accept Visa, MasterCard, or American Express. Thankfully, dreams can change. If we'd all stuck with our first dream, the world would be overrun with cowboys and princesses. I love Sunday in the Park with George. I saw that when I was just starting theater school, and I remember singing Finishing the Hat, or at least reading the lyrics to Finishing the Hat and other songs from Sunday in the Park with George to my mom to try to explain why I wanted to be an artist. If you love friends, you will serve your friends. If you love community, you will serve your community. If you love money, you will serve your money. And if you love only yourself, you will serve only yourself. And you will have only yourself. Reality has a well-known liberal bias. The first time I met Jon Stewart was at the press conference that Comedy Central held to announce Jon would be the new host of The Daily Show, which back then was not called The Daily Show with Jon Stewart. I'm a simple man with a simple mind. I hold a simple set of beliefs that I live by. Number 1, I believe in America. I believe it exists. My gut tells me I live there. I feel that it extends from the Atlantic to the Pacific, and I strongly believe it has 50 states. I would say laughter is the best medicine, but it's more than that. It's an entire regime of antibiotics and steroids. Laughter brings the swelling down on our national psyche and then applies an antibiotic cream. You gotta keep it away from your eyes. The truthiness is, anyone can read the news to you. I promise to feel the news at you. It used to be, everyone was entitled to their own opinion, but not their own facts. But that's not the case anymore. Facts matter not at all. Perception is everything. Status is always ripe for satire. Status is always good for comedy. Use the word zeitgeist as often as possible. Ideally, you want to find words that sound familiar but people don't really know their definitions. Zeitgeist, Bildungsroman, doppelganger, better yet, anything Latin. But avoid paradigm. It's so 1994. If you say the word paradigm, everybody knows you're a poser. The trouble with the jokes is that once they're written, I know how they're supposed to work, and all I can do is not hit them. I'm more comfortable improvising. If I have just 2 or 3 ideas and I know how the character feels, what the character wants, everything in between is like trapeze work. When my car runs out of gas, I buy a new one. I don't want to ride around in a quitter. There's a degree of narcissism involved in anything in show business. I mean, you can't do it without a healthy ego. Why would you want anybody to listen to you? I can't prove it, but I can say it. Don't be afraid to make things up. Never fear being exposed as a fraud. Experts make things up all the time. They're qualified to. I'm a huge news junkie. I love what the news does. I loved George Carlin and Dean Martin. I was one of those kids who had every comedy album. There's nothing wrong with being gay. I have plenty of friends who are going to hell. I believe gender is a spectrum, and I fall somewhere between Channing Tatum and Winnie the Pooh. Who really wants to be themselves when they're teenagers? I've been accused of being unambitious, but what I do takes up every minute. I'm executive producer, I'm a writer and the host. I have a morality. I don't know if it's the best morality, and I do like thinking. If people perceive that as a moral intellectualism, that's fine. That's up to them to decide. I spent my first 2 years at a small all-male college in Virginia called Hampton-Sydney. That was like going to college 120 years ago. The languages, a year of rhetoric, all of the great books, Western man courses, stuff like that. In order to maintain an untenable position, you have to be actively ignorant. One motto on the show is, keep your facts, I'm going with the truth. I'm a satirist, so I've got boxing gloves on if the person is worthy of satire. But I'm not an assassin. If that ever happens, it's only because something happened during the interview that got me going, and then I had to translate my feelings to the mouth of the character. I'm an actor. I hate to blow everyone's illusions. I'm not here to affect you politically or socially. I'm here to make you laugh. I use the news as the palette for my jokes. I'm a junkie for exhaustion, and I'm a junkie for setting up my expectations too high and then trying to meet them. Isn't an agnostic just an atheist without balls? We are thrilled that Jon Batiste is joining the Late Show family of products. For my money, nobody plays like Jon Batiste, and you can trust me, because it is my money. I wrote things for the school's newspaper, and, like all teenagers, I dabbled in poetry. When I got to The Daily Show, they asked me to have a political opinion. It turned out that I had one, but I didn't realize quite how liberal I was until I was asked to make passionate comedic choices as opposed to necessarily successful comedic choices. You can't really be passionately moderate. It's like wearing an extra medium, it doesn't exist. The interesting thing about grief, I think, is that it is its own size. It is not the size of you, it is its own size. And grief comes to you. Shamelessness is a wonderful part of the character. My brother Billy was the joke teller. My brother Jim had a really sharp, cutting wit. And the teller of long stories, that was my brother Ed. As a child, I just absorbed everything they said, and I was always in competition for the laughs. I have a mug that actually verifies that I'm the world's best dad. That's a mug. That's not me talking. You can't just buy those. The only thing that I don't like is my kids watching comedy that isn't actually funny. There's a lot of supposed tween comedy on TV that isn't particularly funny, but it's got a lot of laugh track. And I go, please don't watch that. Please just watch something that's actually funny. I just think Rosa Parks was overrated. Last time I checked, she got famous for breaking the law. All I can do is today and tomorrow and have some idea of what we're doing next week. That's all I can worry about. I have tender feelings for Nixon because everybody has warm feelings about their childhood. Actually, I didn't like the Watergate trials, cause they interrupted the Munsters. Simply being a guest on David Letterman's show has been a highlight of my career. I never dreamed that I would follow in his footsteps, though everyone in late night follows Dave's lead. I'm thrilled and grateful that CBS chose me. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go grind a gap in my front teeth. I used to make up stuff in my bio all the time, that I used to be a professional ice skater and stuff like that. I found it so inspirational. Why not make myself cooler than I am? Northwestern's alumni list is truly impressive. This university has graduated best-selling authors, Olympians, presidential candidates, Grammy winners, Peabody winners, Emmy winners, and that's just me. Make no mistake, I love women. I'm married to one, I was birthed by one, and I played one in my high school production of Romeo and Juliet. No one else could fit into the bodice. Visit our website for more quotes, quoting.com.